going to turn to page 6. No. 7. No, let's turn to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. 6. This is what page 6 looks like. Page 6. Notice it tells us what we're going to do. What are we going to do today? Subtracting. Now, just like when we're adding, SJ, Avery, we all good back there? No taking pens. Keep your hands to yourselves. Okay. Just like with addition, we have to line up our place values. So this is 4,023. Do you need to rewrite it? Yes, you do. You need to show your work. And then I'm going to say minus. There's nothing in my thousands place here, so I'm putting the 7 below the 0 and then 51. All right. So this starts pretty okay. We can do this first part, right? What's 3 minus 1? 2. However, all of a sudden, we're like, roadblock. We cannot take 5 from 2, so what do we have to do? Go to the next number. Can we take anything from that number? So here is my suggestion. Can we look at this like it's 40? Yes, so let's borrow from the 40. If I take 1 from the 40 is now what? 39. So this 2 becomes a 12 because we borrowed 1 from the next place value up. If you wanted to, you could borrow from the 4, this becomes a 10, then borrow from the 10, it becomes a 9, but that's just a little shortcut if you haven't seen that, okay? So now, what if we take 5 from 12, what do we have left? 7. 9 minus 7 is 2, and then I'm bringing down my 3. That's it. Then I have my answer. I've shown all of my steps. Okay. We are doing this whole page. All right. So go ahead. These have the same number of digits, so this should be easier to line up. 15938. All right, we start right away with having to borrow. Right? Yeah. We can't take 8 from 4. So if we borrow from the 3, it becomes 2. What's 14 minus 8? Again, if you're not fluent in these addition and subtraction, you should be working on flashcards. Yes, 6. Can I take 3 from 2? No, so I'm going to borrow and it becomes an 8, which makes this 12. What's 12 minus 3? 9. Can I take 9 from 8? No, so I have to borrow again. So is it important to write pretty neat here? This gets pretty sloppy pretty fast if we're not writing neatly. 18 minus 9 is 9 again. 6 minus 5 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. 1996. What a great year. I was 10 years old in 1996. 4th grade. That was a good year. Fun memories. All right. So, again, we're finding the difference. Line those up and try 7 and 8. Try 7 and 8. Take your time, make sure you're doing it neatly, make sure you're borrowing properly, make sure you're showing your work. All right, some of you are feeling comfortable, I can tell. Some of you are still working on it. It's very imperative that you're writing these down neatly. So I'm going to write my first number down. The reason I write it down is because when I write, I have a little bit more space than here, right? This takes up quite a bit more space than this little bit. And it just helps so that I can borrow properly and it's not messy. My 4,000 is going to start right here under the 4. So I'm going to write 4,035. All right, 4,035. And we are subtracting. So I'm just going to put that subtraction sign there to remind myself. Did anybody write 3 here? It happens all the time. We think 5 minus 2 instead of 2 minus 5. If we can't take 5 from 2, we have to do what? Borrow. So we could jump to here, take a 4, make this a 10, borrow from the 10, make it a 9, make this a 10, borrow from the 10, make it a 9, that makes that a 12. Or we can think of this as 400. So if I borrow 1 from 400, I have how many left? 399. That saved us a step. So now 12 minus 5 we should know is 7. 9 minus 3 is 6. Very good. And 9 minus 0 is, of course, 9. Can we take 4 from 3? No, but I can just think of this as 13. So what is 13 minus 4? 13 minus 4 is 9. That 0 comes down and the 9 comes down. So, does it seem reasonable if we take 4 away? 4,000 away? That seems reasonable, right? Cool. So don't forget to ask yourself that to be sure you're on the right track. We don't want to make silly errors. This one, we have 1,392,007. 007 there. So my 5 is going to start here underneath my 9. 52,816. We're subtracting. Oh, that's okay. 7 minus 6, you know that. But now I can't take 1 away from nothing. So this 20 is going to become what? 19. So I have 10 minus 1, which is 9. 9 minus 8, which is 1. I can't take 2 from 1, so I have to borrow from the 9. That becomes 8, making this 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. 8 minus 5 is 3. Bring your 3 down, bring your 1 down. 1,339,191. That looks pretty reasonable to me. All right, let's set these four up together and then I'll have you try those. Lance is deciding between a used boat that costs this much and a new boat that costs this much. How much will he save if he purchases the used boat? So he'll save the difference between these. So we are going to write the big number on top, 25,882, minus the little number on the bottom, 14,465. All right, we'll come back to solve that. Let's look at number 10. We'll make sure you have a second to write that. That is one thing we're going to work on is writing fluently in here. You should be able to hear or see and write pretty rapidly as you get older, right? We want to stay on top of things and write pretty rapidly. So Mars is approximately 4,212 miles across, and Jupiter is approximately 86,881 miles across. What's the difference? Again, we're taking big number minus little number. So these are pretty easy to set up, especially when we see keywords like the difference, right? We know that refers to subtraction. We also know that we're practicing subtraction on this page, so that's a pretty good hint. All right, we want to know how much further he has to go. We know what the total is, and we know how far he's gone so far. So we're going to take the total minus how far he's gone so far to see what is left. There's another one set up for you, and then finally, oh man, this one's tricky. She starts with a balance, then she deposits. So she's adding this money, and then she's purchasing this. So then she's taking it away. So to start, we're going to see how much she has before she takes something away. If we have this and then we're adding this to it, we're going to add. And then to find the new balance after the purchase, whatever that is, we're going to take away 1,405 from. So whatever this is right here is going to go here. All right, so try those last four on page 6. Whisper with your neighbor if you're getting stuck.
Is this right? Because
I don't know, I'd have to look. Perfect. When you guys are done, there is a subtraction section. Pretty much the whole rest of page 7 you should be able to do now. We only did a little bit on page 7. Now you should be able to do what we didn't do. So 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, and 12. anything that's not done on page 7, you may do now. No, you can just add them together, it's fine. In 5 minutes, we're gonna go over these last 4 of the notes, and then you should be working pretty steadily on page 7 by then. So once you get these 4 tried out, you should be working on page 7. If you get all of 7 done, you can move ahead and get into Alex, because that's where we're headed here shortly. All right, I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds to finish up whatever problem you're at, and then I want you to turn back to page 6, just so you can be sure you are doing these properly. All right, let's look at page 6. We're on page 6. We're looking at number 9. We cannot take 5 from 2, so please don't say this is 3, right? We have to borrow from the 8, so it becomes 7. So 12 minus 5 is 7. We should know that. 7 minus 6 is 1. 8 minus 4 is 4. You can bring your comma down. 5 minus 4 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Should be pretty straightforward. They're asking how much he saves, so this would be in dollars. Excuse me. All right, so this, we're finding the difference too. We can't take 2 from 1, so please don't say that's 1. Borrow from the 8, it becomes 7. 11 minus 2 is 9. 7 minus 1 is 6. 8 minus 2 is also 6. 6 minus 4 is 2, and bring down your 8. So this is talking the difference in miles. So be sure you know what your answer means. Make sure you're answering the question, right? 11, again, we're trying to see how much further he needs to go. 3 minus 1, that we can do. 9 minus 8, that we can do. 5 minus 3, that we can do, right? Now, we cannot say 4 minus 6, so we have to borrow. That becomes a 1. 14 minus 6 is 8. Bring down your 1. Seems reasonable, and he needs to go this many more feet to get up to that total of 24,593. All right, this last one was a 2-part on page 6, number 12. So we are taking the bank account, she's depositing this, so we're adding that to it. So go ahead and add those up real quick. 3 and 5 is 8. 8 and 2 is 10. 6 and 3 is 9. 3 and 1 is 4. So after she deposits this check, she's got a total of 4,908. We're taking that total, and from that, she's purchasing a new TV. So we have to subtract the amount of the TV. So now we went from adding to subtracting. 8 minus 5 is 3. Nothing here, but make sure you're holding this with a 0. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So this is how much money, so I'm putting it in dollars, she has left in her bank account. Any questions on page 6 at all? We're okay? All right. So you should have a bit of time to work here, but if you are done, now is a good time to keep on working in your knowledge check. We'll have some more time. We're kind of going to be dedicating tomorrow to Alex, so if you don't get to Alex today, that is okay. Be sure this page 7 is done today. You've got like 20 minutes, so you should have plenty of time. How much more? So you're subtracting. How much more were the sales in March than January and April combined? So first you'll have to combine January and April. Then you're gonna have to find the difference between that and March.
So then I'll take the infinite and then like
Find the difference between.
and then also
Two savings
what's what
accounts.
after like that.
So here are the two balances. So she's got two accounts, so you're gonna add those accounts up and then take away that.